Hey gang, it's January 5th of 2026. Let's see if I can turn my microphone up a little bit there. We are going to read Genesis 11:1 through 13:4. We are going to read Matthew 5:1 through 26, Psalms 5 1 through 12, and Proverbs 1:29 through 33. After each section, I'm going to break it down and give you a quick 1-2 minute breakdown. This is going to last tonight, maybe 15 to 20 minutes. I think we got 3.5 pages to do. Normally, these are about 3 pages. So let's get started. Genesis 11:1 through 13:4. At one time, the whole earth spoke the same language. It so happened that they moved out of the east, and they came upon the plain in the land of Shinar and settled down. They said to they said to one another, "Come, let's make bricks and fire them well." They used brick and stone and tar for mortar. Then they said, "Come, let's build ourselves a city and a tower that reaches heaven. Let's make ourselves famous so we won't be scattered here and there across the earth." God came down to look over the city and the tower that those people had built. God took one look and said, "One people, one language. Why is only a one step?" Not telling what they come up with next. They'll stop at nothing. "Come, we'll go down and garble their speech so they won't understand each other." Then God scattered them from all over the world, and they had to quit building the city. That's how it came to be called Babel, because there God turned their language into Babel. From there God from there God scattered them all over the world. That's when the Tower of Babel. So I've heard that for years, and it didn't really click right now until babbling. Hmm, that's deep. This is the story of Shem. When Shem was 100 years old, he had a freight ox. It was 2 years after the flood, and after he had a freight ox, he lived 500 more years and had other sons and daughters. When a freight ox was 35 years old, he had Shelah. After Ephraitix and Shelah, he lived 403 more years and had other sons and daughters. When Shelah was 30 years old, he had Eber. After Shelah had Eber, he lived 403 more years and had other sons and daughters. When Eber was 34 years old, he had Peleg. After Eber had Peleg, he lived 430 more years and had other sons and daughters. When Peleg was 30 years old, he had Reu. After he had Reu, he lived 209 more years and had other sons and daughters. When Reu was 32 years old, he had Serug. When after Reu had Serug, he lived 207 more years and had other sons and daughters. When Serug was 30 years old, he had Nahor. After Serug had Nahor, he lived 200 more years and had other sons and daughters. When Nahor was 29 years old, he had Terah. After Nahor had Terah, he lived 119 more years and had other sons and daughters. When Terah was 70 years old, he had Abram, Nahor, and Haran. This is the story of Terah, 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 and Abram, Nahor, and Haran. Good Lord, y'all. Haran had Lot. Haran died before his father. Terah in the country of his family, Ur, and the Chaldees. Abram and Nor each got married. Abram's wife was Sarai. Nora's wife was Malachi, the daughter of his brother Haran. Haran had two daughters, Michaela and Israel. Sahara was barren, she had no children. Terah took his son Abram, his grandson Lot, who was Hera's son, and Sarai, his daughter in law, and his son's wife Abram, and his son Abram's wife, and set out with them from Ur and Chalides for the land of Canaan. But when they got as far as Harah, they settled down there. Terah lived 205 years. He died in Harah. God told Abram, "Leave your country, your family, and your father's home for a land that I will show you. I'll make you a great nation and bless you. I'll make you famous. You'll be a blessing. I'll bless those who bless you. Those who curse you, I'll curse. All the families of the earth will be blessed through you. So Abram left, just as God said, and Lot left with him. Abram was 75 years old when he left Haran. Abram took his wife Sarai and his nephew Lot with him, along with all the possessions and people they had gotten in Haran. He sent out to the land of Canaan and arrived safe and sound. Abram passed through the country as far as Shechem and the oak of Moram. At the time of Canaanites occupied the land. God appeared to Abram and said, I will give you this land to your children. Abram built an altar at the place God had appeared to him. He moved on from there to the hill country east of Bethel and pitched his tent between Bethel to the west and Ai to the east. He built an altar there and prayed to God. Abram kept moving, steadily making his way south to Negev. Then a famine came to the land. Abram went down to Egypt to live. It was a hard famine, and he drew near to Egypt. He said to his wife Sarai, Look, we both know that you're a beautiful woman. When the Egyptians see you, they're going to say, Aha, that's his wife, and kill me. But they'll let you live. Do me a favor, tell them you're my sister. Because of you, they'll welcome me and let me live. When Abram arrived in Egypt, the Egyptians took one look at and saw that his wife was stunningly beautiful. Pharaoh's princes raved over her to Pharaoh. She was taken to live with the Pharaoh. Because of her, Abram got along very well with accumulated sheep and cattle, male and female donkeys, men and women servants, and camels. But God hit Pharaoh hard because of Abram's wife Sarai. Everybody in the place got seriously sick. Pharaoh called to Abram, What's this that you've done to me? Why didn't you tell me that she's your wife? Why did you say, pardon me, why did she say she's my sister? So that I'd take her and my wife? Here's your wife back. Take her and get out. Pharaoh ordered his men to get Abram out of the country. They sent him and his wife and everything he owned on their way. So Abram left Egypt and went back to Negev, he and his wife and everything he owned, and Lot still with him. By now Abram was very rich, loaded with cattle, silver, and gold. He moved on from Negev, camping along the way to Bethel, the place he had set up his tent first. The place he had first set up his tent between Bethel and Ai, and built his altar. Abram prayed there to God. Y'all, I ain't gonna lie. Some of these names I absolutely struggle with. It's crazy. Doesn't matter how many times I read it, you just got to phonetically try to get it together. So the breakdown of Genesis 11:1 through 13:4 says humanity tried to build a tower of Babel to make a name for themselves. Unity without God. God disrupts it by confusing languages, not to punish ambition, but to stop pride from replacing dependence on him. Then God calls Abram, promising land, descendants, and blessings, not because Abram earned it, but because God chose him. Abram obeys, journeys his faith, stumbles in Egypt, but returns to the altar. The theme is God opposes prideful self exaltation, but blesses humble obedience. God can redirect your missteps when you return to him. Y'all, you're not too far gone. Trust me. I want to say I was really far gone, but there was a time when I wasn't anywhere near where I am right now, and it's easy to come back. God will meet you exactly where you are. You don't have to be a certain type of holy for him to meet you. Matthew 5:1 through 26. When Jesus saw his ministry drawing huge crowds, he climbed a hillside. Those who were apprenticing to him, they committed climbing with him. Arriving at a quiet place, he sat down and taught his climbing companions. This is what he said: You're blessed when you're at the end of your rope. With less of you, there is more of God and his rule. That's deep. You're blessed when you feel you've lost, when it is most dear to you. Only then can you be embraced by the one most dear to you. You're blessed when you're content with just who you are, no more, no less. That's the moment you find yourselves proud owners of everything that can't be bought. You're blessed when you've worked up a good appetite for God. He's food and drink in the best meal you'll ever eat. You're blessed when you care. At the moment you be being careful You'll find yourselves cared for. You're blessed when you get inside world. You're blessed when you get your inside world, your mind and heart put right. Then you can see God in the outside world. You're blessed when you can show people how to cooperate instead of compete and fight. That's when you discover who you really are and your place in God's family. You're blessed when when your commitment to God provokes persecution. The persecution drives to even deeper into the God's kingdom. Not only that, count yourselves blessed every time people put you down and throw you out and speak lies about you to discredit me. What it means is that the truth is too close for comfort and they're uncomfortable. You can be glad when this happens, give a cheer even, for though they don't like it, I do. And all heaven applauds, and know that you are in good company. My prophets and witnesses have always gotten into this kind of trouble. I ain't gonna lie, I've gotten into that kind of trouble too. I think sometimes being a Christian intimidates people and it really brings out who they really are and they don't like it. Not that I'm perfect. God, I sin every day, but man, it's just crazy how it makes them the resentment, I think. Let me tell you why you are here. You're here to be salt seasoning and bring out the good flavors of the earth. If you lose your saltiness, how will people taste godliness? You've lost your usefulness and will end up in the garbage. Here's another way to put it: you're here to be the light, bringing out the God colors in the world. God is not a secret to be kept. We're going public with this. As a public, as a city hall, as a city on a hill, if you make your light bearers, if I make you light bearers, you don't think I'm going to hide you under a bucket, do you? I'm putting you on a light nightstand. Now that I've put you there on a hilltop, on a light stand, shine. Keep open house. Be generous with your lives. Be open up for others. You'll prompt people to open up with God, the generous Father in heaven. Yes, I'm saying I'm doing this as an accountability to me because last year I made it to May, about the end of May. I always tell people to my job is to be the light for you. That I have this inner peace. Is my life perfect? Absolutely not. There's flaws. I have a great relationship with my wife and my kids, but there's things that need to be worked on. I am a work in progress at all times, but I'm here to be the light to let you know that you can find peace. Don't suppose for a minute that I have come to demolish the scriptures, either God's law or the prophets. I'm not here to demolish, but to complete, excuse me. I'm going to put it all together, pull it all together in a vast panorama. God's law is more real and lasting than the stars in the sky and the ground at your feet. Long after stars burn out, the earth wears out, God's law will be alive and working. Trivialize even the smallest item in God's law, and you will only have trivialized yourself. But take it seriously, show the way for others, and you will find honor in the kingdom. Unless you do far better than the Pharisees in the matters of right living, you won't know the first thing about entering the kingdom. You're familiar with the command to the ancients, do not murder. I'm telling you that anyone who is so much as angry with a brother or sister is guilty of murder. Carelessly call a brother an idiot, and you just might find yourself hauled into court. Thoughtlessly yell stupid at a sister, and you are at the brink of hellfire. The simple moral fact that words kill. This is how I want you to conduct yourselves in these matters. If you enter your place of worship and to make of it, if you enter your place of worship and about to make an offering, you suddenly remember a grudge or a friend has against you, abandon your offering. Leave immediately, go to this friend and make things right. Then and only then come back and work things out with God. That's deep. Or say you're out on the street and an old enemy accosts you. Don't lose a minute. Make the first move. Make things right with him. After all, if you leave the first move to him, knowing his track record, you're likely to end up in court, maybe even jail. If this happens, you won't get out with a stiff fine. Matthew 5, 1 through 26. Jesus opens up the Sermon on the Mount. He blesses the poor in the spirit, the meek, and the merciful. Flipping the world's idea of success, he calls his followers salt and light, then raises the bar. Righteousness isn't just outward behavior, but inward heart alignment. Anger, contentment, and broken relationships matter as much as murder. Reconciliation is worship. Did you hear me? Reconciliation is worship. That's hitting a lot of y'all right now. We all go through this. The theme is kingdom living starts in the heart. Starts here. Every one of us have to do it. The takeaway says God cares more about who you're becoming than what you're avoiding. Ouch. Psalms 5 1 through 12. Listen, God, please pay attention. Can you make sense of these ramblings, my groans and cries? King God, I need your help. Every morning you'll hear me at it again. Every morning I lay out the pieces of my life, of you on your altar, and watch the fire to descend. You don't socialize with wicked or invite evil over as your house guest. Hot air, boister, hot air boaster collapses in front of you. You shake your head over mischief maker. God destroys lie speaker, bloodthirsty, and truth bender disgusts you. And I am here, your invited guest. It's incredible. I enter your house. Here I am, prosternate in your inner sanctum, waiting for directions to get me safely through the enemy lines. Every word they speak is a landmine. Their lungs breathe out poison gas. Their throats are gaping graves. Their tongues slick as mudslides. Pile on the guilt, God. Let their so-called wisdom wreck them. Kick them out. They've had their chance, but you'll welcome us with open arms. When we run for cover to you, let the party last all night. Stand guard over our celebration. You are famous, God, for welcoming God seekers, for decking us out into into delight, for decking us out in delight. Lord, my tongues are tied tonight. So Psalms 5, 1 through 12 states, David begins his day crying out to God, confident that the Lord hears him. God is holy and does not delight in wickedness, and he protects and blesses the righteous. David contrasts those who rebel against God and those who trust him. The theme is God hears sincere prayer and shields those who love him. The takeaway is start your day with God. His presence is your protection. The one thing that's kind of hitting me is, and it's hit me for the last couple of years, is what stands out to me is seek ye first. When it says he, it's when seek ye first, ye, it's basically saying seek God first, seek him first. The first thing you do in the morning when you get up, say the Lord's Prayer. Our Father who art in heaven, hallowed be thy name. Thy kingdom come, thy will be done on earth as it is in heaven. Give us this day our daily bread, and forgive us our trespasses, as we forgive those who trespass against us. Deliver us from evil, for thine is the kingdom, the power, and the glory forever and ever. Amen. That is like the holiest prayer you can say. Once you do that, start having a conversation with God. You'll be amazed at how your day just kind of folds like it's supposed to when you put God first every single day. Proverbs 1 through 29, 129 through 33. Because you hated knowledge and had nothing to do with the fear of God, because you wouldn't take my advice and brushed aside all my offers to train you, well, you've made your bed, now lie in it. You wanted your own way. Now, how do you like it? Don't you see what happens? You simpletons, you idiots. Carelessness kills. Complacency is murder. First, pay attention to me and then relax. Now you can take it easy. You're in good hands. Tomorrow we will be on January 6th. I'm going to try to do it first thing in the morning. Let's do the breakdown of Proverbs 1:29 through 33. This is the consequences of rejecting wisdom. Those who ignore God's counsel eventually face the results of their choices. But those who listen and fear the Lord will live in peace and security. The theme is choices have outcomes. Wisdom always leads to life. And lately I've been praying for wisdom more than anything else. And be careful what you pray for, too. Don't pray for patience because you'll be put in spots where you're tested. I pray for wisdom every day. The takeaway is ignoring God doesn't remove consequences, but listening brings safety. All right, guys, I appreciate you liking and sharing and subscribing and sending this to other people. But like I said, this is more of an accountability for me. I was supposed to do this last year, and I made it to May reading my Bible. So I thought if I do this every single day, whether I have people watching this or not, it's going to be on there, and I can say that I read the Bible in a year. Can you say that? Simple as that. So, guys, have a good night. Have a better than good day, and we will see you tomorrow. Love you. Bye.